सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो नलिननेत्राय वेणुवाद्यविनोदिने राधाधरसुधापानशालिने वनमालिने महाभावस्वरूपास्त्वं कृष्णप्रिया वरीयसी प्रेमभक्तिप्रदे देवी श्रीराधिकात्मं नमोऽस्तुते। अखिलमण्डलाकारा व्याप्तेन चराचरं तत्पाददर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। So as we have discussed from the third canto, chapter 21, how Kardama Muni has prayed to their Lordship. In his prayers, in the last part, he is explaining about how this creation has taken place. Like last class we have discussed what is the time wheel, how everything manifests and get directed by the time. And if someone has to get out of this circle of repeated birth and death, what should be done? He has given 3 solutions for that. Does anyone remembers? How one can get free from the cycle of birth and death. 3 things that he has explained. First, second. Taking shelter of. Okay, and third.
Discussing the glories of the Lord along with the sages.
First thing is that one has to give up the stereotype materialistic activities such as ahara nidra bhayamaitram samanya etat pashubhirnara. Whatever are common in human beings and animals, that should be given, because human form is not meant for that same pleasures that we can get in the form of other species of life. Then the question comes, why Lord has created this material world? Is that His desire? Or He want to have some sensual pleasure or sense gratification by creating this material world? That question is answered in today's 3 verses from text number 90. Eka swayam sajjagata srikshaya dvitiya atman adhiyoga mayaya susritsyasyadapasi punargasishye yathornanabhir bhagavan swashaktibihi. In this particular verse, there are 2 things are very important that Karadam Muni has explained here. First thing, he nullifies the impersonalist philosophy. So what is the impersonalism? Lord does not have any form, and everything is Lord. That's the philosophy of impersonalist. But here he says, Ekaha Swayam. You are only one. So Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, is only one. It's not that by some endeavor I am going to get or I am going to become a Bhagavan. As that's what the impersonalist people, they think. Dandadharana matreda naro narayana bhavet. If someone takes sannyas, then he becomes Narayana. So I am also Narayana, you are also Narayana. That never happens. Ekaha Swayam. Sajagataha Sri Sakshaya. And you are the one who has created this material world. So it's not that the material world has created the Lord. Impersonalists, they think that Lord comes in a contact with the material nature and he takes a form. So his form is temporary. But that is a bogus philosophy. Because he is the one from whom this material world manifests. Atman Adhiyoga Maya, and it's how it come into manifestation by his own energy. And Prabhupada gives example in purport. He says that like a carp wave. A carp, he creates his own wave. And after the purpose is fulfilled, he takes it away. So, as that wave is created by its own saliva, does the carp leave his identity? No, it has. So, same way, Lord creates this material world and still he is aloof from that. So, this material world is not Lord, but it's Lord's energy. My dear Lord, you alone create the universe. O personality of a Godhead, desiring to create this universe, you create them, maintain them, and again wind them up by your own energies, which are the under control of your secondary energy called Yoga Maya. Just as a spider creates a cobweb by its own energy and again winds it up. In the next verse, he says, Naitvad tadarisha padam tavespitam yanmayayanastun bhuta sukshmam anugrahayastvapiyar himayaya lasatvalasya bhagavan vilakshitaha. Now he is explaining the cause of this material creation, why it has been created by the Lord. My dear Lord, although it is not your desire, na etad but adhishaha. Oh my Lord, indeed it's not your desire actually. You manifest this creation of a gross and subtle elements just for our sensual satisfaction. Nastanune shubhta sakshmam. Let your causeless mercy be upon us, for you have appeared before us in your eternal form, adorned with a splendid wreath of tulasi leaves. Generally, people, they have argument, this material world is full of so much of calamities, so much of distress, so much of sufferings. And Lord, if He is a loving Father of each and every one, then why He has created these circumstances? Why He has put us into the trouble? But this verse, this text, this shloka, it clarifies that doubt. It says not because Lord wanted it, but it's the desire of our sense gratification. It's desire of living entity. As explained in Bhagavad Gita, Ichhadvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata. It's because of our desire, Ichha, and our envy towards the Lord. He has created this material world so that we can fulfill or try to enjoy our desires. That's the real cause. Sarge anti param tapa. This creation, sarga, has taken place because of our Ichha and Dvesha. And in such calamities also, to bestow His causeless mercy, He appears in front of us. There are different forms that He takes, and He comes to help us. And one of the most prominent form is Aracha Vigraha, the deity form of the Lord. He comes in that particular form so that we can see Him. See, it's not possible to see the Supreme Personality of a Godhead with our this blunt material senses or material eyes. But because of His causeless mercy, He appears in this particular form and gives us chance to render devotional service to Him. And that's why He is called as a Durlabha. It's very rare whom you can see. But the Archa Vigraha form of the Lord has this particular characteristic, which is called as a Saulabhya Darshana. Saulabhya Darshana means it's very easy to see the Lordship. 24/7 you can see Him right in front of you in the form of a Archa Vigraha. And here, as Lord appeared in front of Karadam Muni, because he performed austerities for 10,000 years. And then he got a chance to see their Lordship. And that's why he says here, let your causeless mercy be upon us, for you have appeared before us in your eternal form, adorned with the splendid breath of a tulsi leaves. So here here the Lord appeared in front of a Kapila Muni, in front of a Kardama Muni, who is adorned with the tulsi garland. So again he is thrashing out the impersonal philosophy that Lord is not an impersonal. He is not just a light or Brahmajyoti, but he is a person. He has a beautiful form, and that form is adorned with the tulsi leaves. And then next he says, Tam tvanubhutyo parakriyatartha Swamayaya vartita lokatantram Namamyabhikshanam namaniyapada Sarojamalpiyasi kamavarasham. I continuously offer my respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet, of which it is worthy to take shelter, because you shower all benedictions on the insignificant, to give all living entities detachment from fruitive activity by realizing you. You have expanded this material world by your own energy. In the purport, Prabhupada says, everyone therefore, whether he desire material enjoyment, liberation, or the transcendental loving service of the Lord, should engage himself offering obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, because the Lord can award everyone he desired benediction. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord affirms, Ye yathamam prapadyante. Anyone who desires to be successful enjoyed in this material world is awarded that benediction by the Lord. Anyone who wants to be liberated from the entanglement of this material world is given liberation by the Lord. And anyone who desires constantly engage in his service in full Krishna consciousness is awarded that benediction by the Lord. For material enjoyment, he has prescribed so many ritualistic, sacrificial performances in the Vedas. And thus people may take advantage of those instructions and enjoy material life in a higher planets or in a noble aristocratic family. These processes are mentioned in Vedas and one can take advantage of them. It is similar with those who want to be liberated from this material world. Eko bahunam yo vidadhati kaman, as explained in the Upanishads. He is the one who fulfills desire of bahuna, means everyone. And that's why it is said, akamo sarvakamo va mokshakamo udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajet purushah param. Akama, you don't have any desire. Kama means desire for sense gratification, desire for self-satisfaction, whatever we endeavor for that. So if someone does not have that desire of enjoying anything in this material world, that is akama. And sarvakama means who has all the desires. To fulfill all the desires, he has given prescribed ways through which you can get them. In the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, one of the chapter, the whole list has explained. Do you want a beautiful wife? Worship Uma Devi. If you want to have leadership in the society, worship Lord Rudra, Lord Shiva. If you want to have a good health, worship Ashwini Kumaras. If you want to have a good healthy progeny, worship Prajapatis. So forth. Whatever desire you may have to fulfill that desire in this material world, Lord has given a way for that. If you follow that path, then what happens? This Vedic system is meant in such a way that gradually it purifies you and brings you at the point of detachment. That's the sole purpose of all the rituals, sacrifice, and karmakanda activities are explained in the Vedas. Ante Narayana Smriti. Whatever you do for your sense gratification throughout the life, it should boil towards the end that you should remember their Lordship. Satatam harim chintayami visheshena antakaleja. One should always remember their Lordship and vishesha, and specifically at the time of death. And for that purpose, all the karmakanda activities are arranged in that way. So how many of you have done any karmakanda activities at your home before coming to Krishna consciousness or after coming Krishna consciousness? Have you done any pujas at your home? God done any pujas? How it starts with? Any karmakanda, worship of any demigod, it starts with what? The first thing that they do. Before that. First thing is Achmana. Any puja you do, what do you do first? Achmana. And what do you say? Om Keshavaya Namaha. Means what? Keshavaya. Everything belongs to Keshava, not mine. Om Narayanaya Namaha. It belongs to Narayana, not mine. Om Madhavaya Namaha. It belongs to, and ends with what? After finishing all the Karmakand pujas, the last verse this chant. You remember that verse? Kayena vacha manasa indirva buddhyatma va prakrutir svabhavat karomi yatyat sakala parasmai. Whom you are offering it to? Narayanayati samarpayami. What are the activities? Kayena, by body. Vachena, by speech. Manasaha, by mind. Kayena vacha, manaser, indrayer va, by senses. Prakrutir svabhavat, according to my nature. Everyone has a different nature, bound by the different modes of material nature. Sattva, Raja, Tama, Guna. Whatever I perform through my body, through my speech, through my mind, through my senses, according to my swabhava. Swabhava means? Swabhava means I am born with some particular nature. Some particular prakriti, kapha, vata, pitta, rajoguna, tamoguna, sattva-guna, whatever it may be. Karomi yad, whatever I have done with this, I am offering it to Lord Narayana. So the whole Karma Kanda brings you at the point where everything you have to offer it to the Lordship. And that's why he says, it's worth to take shelter at your lotus feet. Because it's you who is going to save us from this whirlpool. What it means? We know the company, Whirlpool.
Whirlpool is
rotation.
Whirlpool is whirlpool.
It spools and it whirls. You know? It pulls you and it makes you turn. So, who can take you away from that?
Somebody who is outside can only.
Who is outside only he can pull you out. So that's law. Further, Prabhupada says, unless one is disgusted with the enjoyment of this material world, he cannot aspire for the liberation. And for that purpose, he gives us calamities. So that we can get frustrated with them. Enough of this now. I don't want it more. And then they look for the liberation. They wanted to get it out of that. What is liberation means? To get out of something. What is that? I want to get liberated from what? Birth, old age, death and disease. Unless and until you get frustrated with that, you will never think of getting out of that. Do you? Forget about us. Even Indra and Brahma, when they came down here in this world, it became very difficult for them to come out of. Like once Lord Indra got cursed and he became a pig. Boar. And he was in the filth. All the demigods, they were thinking, oh my God, he has to come out. Who will rule the kingdom? So they sent Devarshi Narada, go and bring him back. So Narada went and said, oh, come out. He said, why? I'm happy here. Having more than 24 kids, sucking his breast. So he was happy there. He said, I'm happy. I don't want to come out of this. That situation was disgusting for the human beings. But for him, he said, I'm cool. I'm enjoying. So everyone in this world in precarious condition, but they don't realize it. And unless and until you realize and feel disgusted with that, you will not think about getting out of this. And that's why here it said, liberation is for one who is disgusted with the material enjoyment. Vedanta Sutra says, therefore, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Those who have given up the attempt to be happy in this material world can inquire about the absolute truth. So how many of you want to be happy in this world? You don't want to be happy in this world? Or you want? Or you also want? Can you read that sentence, what I read right now?
I lost it because I have it in Spanish.
Those who have given up the attempt to be happy in this material world can inquire about the absolute truth.
So if you want to be happy in this world, you can't inquire about the Lord. That's not possible. Because the path of sense gratification and liberation go ill together, 180 degrees to each other. You can't have sense gratification when you want aspiring for the liberation. You have only one choice. Further, here says, for those who want to know the absolute truth, the Vedanta Sutra is available. As is Srimad Bhagavatam, the actual explanation of Vedanta Sutra. Since Bhagavad Gita is also Vedanta Sutra, by understanding Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedanta Sutra or Bhagavad Gita, one can obtain real knowledge. When one obtains real knowledge, he becomes theoretically one with the Supreme. And when he actually begins the service of Brahman or Krishna consciousness, he is not only liberated but situated in his spiritual life. Similarly, for those who want to lord it over material nature, there are so many departments of material enjoyment. Material knowledge and material science are available. And the Lord provides for persons who want to enjoy them. The conclusion is that one should worship the Supreme Personality of a Godhead for any benediction. The word Kama Varasham is very significant, for it indicates that he satisfies the desires of anyone who approaches him. But one who sincerely loves Krishna and yet wants material enjoyment is in perplexity. Krishna, being very kind toward him, gives him an opportunity to engage in a transcendental loving service of the Lord, and so he gradually forgets the hallucination. So here ends the prayers offered by Kardama Muni to their Lordship, where he has explained whether one has desire or not, one should worship. If someone worship Lord with a material desire and same time ask for the devotion, then Lord gives it to him and makes sure that he gets purified and gets out of the hallucination. Then what is the purpose of creating this material world? Why he has created and how one can get out of that? In this 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. In these 9 verses, he has explained all these things. If you match up the same things with Brahma's prayer, you find same things that Brahma has also asked for the Lord. And that is in the beginning of creation. And now, following his footsteps, his son Kardama, when he was asked by Brahma to create, he is also offering the same prayers to the Lord. So if you take any responsibility in this world, the first thing that you should know your position in regarding that responsibility. who has given you that, and how you have to take that responsibility. That's what we can learn from all these prayers. From next time, we will start with the reply of their Lordship to Kardama. How, after hearing these prayers, what Lord has explained to him, what Lord has asked him from, and what Lord has given him for fulfilling his desires. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Kardama Muni ki jai.